appreciate you waiting. Can we start that again, please?
My name is Joe Wong. I'm Senior Counsel for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. The Legal Defense Fund represents the plaintiffs in the Bradford litigation. We were here today appealing the circuit court's ruling in favor of the state for summary judgment. We believe the circuit court's ruling was in error when the circuit court ruled that Baltimore City school children are required to have no more than the state give a basic effort to provide a basic education. We believe that the case law is clear that Baltimore City school children are entitled to more under the Maryland State Constitution. They are entitled to a thorough and efficient education and more than the dilapidated school buildings and year in and year out underfunding that puts them at severe risk of academic failure. Almost 30 years ago, the circuit court found that the state was violating the Maryland State Constitution by failing to provide a thorough and efficient education to Baltimore City school children. In response, the state entered into a consent decree promising to fix this constitutional violation and finally provide an adequate education to Baltimore City school children. The state never lived up to that promise, and as a result, Baltimore City school children today are facing the same problems they were facing almost 30 years ago. They're facing attending school in crumbling buildings that are well past their expiration date, buildings that are infested with rodents and insects, buildings with unsafe drinking water due to lead pipes, buildings with leaks into classrooms and hallways from roofs that are far past their useful life, and they're facing year in and year out underfunding that does not provide them with the resources, the staff, the teachers to succeed academically. And what's especially troubling about this is that this burden falls disproportionately on students of color. 76% of Baltimore City school children are Black and 14% are Latinx. And as a result, these are the students that are facing serious risks of academic failure due to the state's failure to live up to its constitutional obligations. The Bradford plaintiffs have been fighting for the rights of Baltimore City school children for almost 30 years, and we're going to continue to fight until the state provides them what they are owed under the state constitution. We're confident that the law is clear that students are owed more than dilapidated school buildings and consistent underfunding, and we look forward to the appellate court's ruling. In children in education, unfortunately, when people hear that this might cost the state more money, and we believe that there are parallels all throughout the state and throughout the nation at this point.
Well, not only students suffer, but we're talking about Black and brown kids in the state of Maryland, because Compton, Bowie, Morgan, those were falling behind Salisbury, Towson, and so forth. I was trying to get you to speak to that.
Well, we think absolutely.
I am so sorry. I know we'll have a problem running this audio. It's almost good. Please.
Unfortunately, far too often, both in the state and in the nation, we see that cities and areas in which there are significant populations of Black and brown folks, those are the areas that the state and the nation tends to disinvest in. And so we certainly see those parallels both in the state and throughout the nation.
How soon do you expect the court to respond?
So there is not a set timeline. We are hopeful because of the importance of this case that the state, the appellate court will issue a ruling promptly.
So first, say and spell your first and last name, please.
Okay. My name is Cameron, Q-A-M-R-Y-N. And my last name too.
Please.
Askew, A-S-K-E-W.
Now, were you one of the students who were on a field trip today?
Yeah, I'm with ASCBC.
You talk about the timing, and you just happen to be here for this hearing?
So the timing is pretty excellent. So we're coming up right at the end of our whole season. We just had our elections a few weeks ago. So this is kind of our last major event of the year. So it's nice to close off with something like this.
So what did you think of what you heard today?
This was my first court case overall, so I was pretty excited. I'm really excited to learn a lot more about this case and then hear the hearing when it comes out. And it feels nice to be a part of the state's history as well.
I appreciate you. Good? All right. Thank you.